Hey, welcome back, everyone. It's time for Daybreak in 10. On Color 10, we are with you commercial-free from now until the end of the show. Let's start off by getting a check of your forecast first one more time with meteorologist Elisa Raff.
Good morning, Joe. We're starting out dry in Branson, which is some clouds and some pretty warm 70s. It's 72 degrees out there right now with southerly winds, though we've been tracking a cluster of storms just to the east that has been growing in size over Plato, Fort Leonard Wood, Waynesville, Ben Davis. You could see many lightning strikes and some very heavy downpours. So this area right here, just to the south and east of the interstate near Lebanon and Waynesville, will have some issues with visibility on the roads this morning. The rest of us are dry. It is 72 degrees in Branson, 73 in Springfield, and 68 degrees in Camdenton. And it's pretty humid out there this morning with some oranges on that muggy meter map. At the pool today, you'll have temperatures in the upper 80s with some scattered showers and storms. That high gets to about 87 degrees as you fire up the grill, and it stays muggy as we head through the evening hours. The storms in general will focus to the south where the front is sitting, but you could have one or two stronger severe storms near and south of the state line, mainly for the threat of quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. A pretty low-end threat for us today, but we'll have the showers and storms again, especially focused south. We keep a storm threat through the evening and then again tomorrow because the pattern is going to stay unsettled. So you keep a chance of storms on Wednesday and Thursday. Temperatures still back up near 90 degrees. Overnight lows over near 70. The pattern stays active, so that means storm chances daily with some locally heavy rain and lightning possible, and then we start to trend drier by the weekend. It stays pretty hot with highs up around 90. It's about average for this time of year, with average being 90 degrees, but we keep the storm chances through about Friday, starting to dry out a little bit more Saturday into Sunday with those highs back around 90 degrees. Some seasonal sunshine returns on Monday. Joe?
Got to let you know again of that breaking news that we're following for you now, as a male victim is in critical condition after being shot earlier this morning. It happened in the 1000 block of West Division Street just before 12:30. Springfield police say an altercation happened between two people inside a home. That ended up moving outside, and that's when the suspect pulled a gun and shot the victim. The suspect and a third person from inside the home fled the scene and are currently being searched for by police. Police don't believe the public are in any danger, though. Also, an alleged murder suspect is expected to stand before a judge today in hopes of having his bond reduced. Timothy Sprague is facing multiple felonies, including second-degree murder and the fatal shooting of Cameron Stillwell. The shooting happened at a home in Gainesville last month. The probable cause statement there sheds light on a relationship between Sprague and the victim's ex-girlfriend at the time of the shooting. New for you this morning, one family in the Ozarks is using the loss of their son as a way to bring awareness and research to childhood cancer. Nija McDonald is in studio this morning with more on this story. Good morning, Nija.
Good morning, Joe. This is Oliver Wells, better known as Ollie by his parents and siblings. Now, Ollie's life was cut short when he was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma at just 15 months old. Now, by all accounts, Oliver was a normal 1-year-old, but in the course of 24 hours, everything changed for the Wells family. Now, again, Oliver was diagnosed with an aggressive form of nervous system cancer. The family picked up and moved to Houston, where Oliver received treatment for the next 13 months. Unfortunately, he relapsed and passed away a few weeks later. The family, after having went through the unimaginable, wanted to find a way to give back, which prompted the creation of the Oliver Wells Fund to help families like the Wells have more options.
What we found out along the journey was that childhood cancer is really severely underfunded in terms of research. So of all the cancer research dollars, about 4% of those go to pediatric cancer. It's really more common than people expect. And so we just wanted other families that have to go through this to have more options than we did, more treatment options, more clinical trials, more research into ways to help.
Well, worldwide, every 2 minutes a child is diagnosed with cancer, which is roughly 300,000 children per year. You can visit our website at ozarksfirst.com to learn more about the Oliver Wells Fund for Neuroblastoma.
All right, thank you very much, Nija. And some more local news for you. Springfield City Council members discussed an issue that could impact the Sequoia Park area. If this bill were to pass, the area will be rezoned for a planned development which at this point would be built into an apartment complex. The Planning and Zoning Board members recommend approval to council members, and the plan will preserve some existing buildings. People who live in or have businesses in that neighborhood there are concerned about the development. They say an apartment complex would bring in too many people, too much traffic, and will cause the neighborhood to eventually become unsafe.
You have people here who are lifelong residents of Galloway back when it was its own place, when it was its own village. I would hate to see them leave, but that's the situation that we're creating. We have working people who pay property taxes and who spend money in our community, and they're just really tired of not being heard.
There will be a second public hearing about rezoning in the Galloway neighborhood coming up in the next City Council meeting. In some news around the region now, a St. Louis firefighter who was shot inside a restaurant in June is still recovering. Police initially described our Lydia Bufford's condition as life-threatening after being shot in the head. Yesterday, though, she was able to walk out of the hospital. Our Lydia was shot while eating at an Applebee's there at a restaurant by a man she didn't know. 2 other women were also shot and 1 died. Our Lydia says once she makes a full recovery, she'll continue the training program she started to become an EMT and return to the firehouse. Around the world, the island of Mauritius is seeking international help to contain an environmental disaster after a Japanese tanker ran into the ground there. Now it's breaking apart, leaking thousands of tons of fuel into the sea. Satellite images show the slick is more than half a mile long. Volunteers have been trying to clear the oil by scooping it up with buckets. TikTok is planning to sue the Trump administration, challenging the U.S. president's executive order banning the video sharing app in the U.S. TikTok is believed to file the federal lawsuit as soon as Tuesday. NPR reported that the lawsuit will argue that President Trump's action is unconstitutional because it didn't give the company a chance to respond. TikTok also alleges that the administration's national security justification for the order is baseless. Around America for you, an alleged KKK leader is sentenced to at least 6 years in jail after reportedly driving into a crowd of Black Lives Matter protesters. The driver, Harry Rogers, was seen driving into that crowd near the A.P. Hill statue in Richmond, Virginia, back in early June. Rogers was found guilty of 6 misdemeanor charges. He was cleared of 4 hate crime charges. The Trump administration may use the pandemic to tighten entry at the U.S. border with Mexico. Options are being weighed, including barring entry to U.S. citizens and legal permanent residents. A draft memo obtained by the New York Times reports that any move to block citizens and permanent residents would only apply in the rarest of circumstances and would ensure no constitutional rights would be infringed upon. Since the pandemic started, the government has imposed several travel restrictions, but citizens and legal residents have been excluded. This move would likely face legal challenges too. The American Civil Liberties Union has already dubbed it, quote, unconstitutional. Let's take a look now at what's coming up for you on CBS This Morning.
Coming up, a devastating storm known as a derecho tears through the Midwest with hurricane-like winds. Plus, will there be college football this fall? Find out how some players are hoping to save the season. Coming up on CBS This Morning.
All right, we take a look at what's trending. Typically, we want to know what people are talking about. And news over in Russia this morning, it's announced that it has the world's first COVID-19 vaccine. President Putin says he believes it works effectively and forms immunity. Reports about this, though, have come with some concerns about the safety. The country has reportedly cut essential corners in development for it. Russia has not released any scientific data on its vaccine testing just yet. Other trends that we're following right now are storms and the damages from that. Big power outages happening.
Yeah, in Iowa and Illinois. You'll have details on that on CBS This Morning. It's called a derecho, and it's when you've got a very long-lived, intense line of damaging winds. It traveled over 700 miles through multiple states with some 80 to 100 mile per hour gusts at times.
Wow.
So some significant wind damage up north, just north of us. this morning. They're still in the dark, I think.
Okay, and for us, these next few days, everything just seems to be scattered, right?
Yeah, like that spotty, summery type storm, right? A couple of showers and storms possible each day with those highs up around 90 degrees.
All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching here on Daybreak. Have yourself a good Tuesday.